Did you notice 77% of professionals feel burnt out at their current job? 91% say it impacts their work quality. Even more alarming, 40% of employees quit their jobs due to burnout. These stats highlight the urgent need to find a sustainable solution to handle workplace-related stress. It also reminds us that our lives are precious and matters, that we need to experience peace of mind and fulfillment in order to thrive and be our exceptional self, not just at work, but in life. In this video, I'll share 5 ways you can avoid burnout and reach your higher self. I'm Dr. Rani, a mental wealth coach and a holistic psychiatrist. I help you overcome stress and burnout to unlock your exceptional brilliance and become the best version of yourself. I have experienced stress in my life, especially when I was working in the NHS. From time to time, I felt overwhelmed. I felt like burnout, but I did not burn out. And luckily for me, as I was pursuing a career in psychiatry, I was also training to be a life coach. I've been doing personal development work for a long time. And I've come across the understanding of mental wealth, which has really helped me see something deeper, the true nature of stress and burnout. And today I'm going to share with you 5 ways you can avoid burnout. The 4th and the 5th are the most important, so make sure you wait until the end. First one is to give yourself permission to slow right down. When people talk about slowing down, it seems like a good idea, right? But I haven't got time, Rani. What are you talking about? I haven't got time to slow down. I have so much to do. And we get into this doing mentality. And then we wonder why we are feeling stressed, why we are feeling burnout. And so the first step, or the first way to prevent burnout is to really give yourself permission to slow down. No one else will give you permission. You need to be the one to give yourself permission to slow down. You have got a timer and you have got 5 minutes. You'll be surprised even if you were to put a timer on and just allow yourself to slow down for 5 minutes. I'm going to share a very simple analogy of how the mind works. And if we're feeling overwhelmed, what's actually happening to our mind? Imagine this is the mind. And imagine the snow. Those are the thoughts. So when we are calm and we are feeling grounded, there's very little thinking going on. So we have thoughts that we need anyway to problem solve, to go about our life. And that's great. And there are times when we feel stress and burnout. This is what's actually happening. It's like a snowstorm. And you can't think properly. It's like you as a person as having this thought storm. And you're so overwhelmed that you cannot really even process a simple problem to solve. When you allow yourself to slow down, what happens? You stop churning those same stale thoughts. And as a result, the mind gets quiet. When the mind gets quiet, you don't feel as stressed. You don't feel burnout. So this is the reason why you really need to allow yourself to slow down. The second way to prevent burnout is to have very clear boundaries and get your priorities right. And clear boundaries means being able to say no with love. This is something most people say, Rani, I'm not good at. I keep saying yes. I love to please people. I love to make myself be of service. But at the expense of who? You cannot serve from an empty cup. So this is why you really need to have some healthy, clear boundaries. And when I say get your priorities right, you need to be able to look after yourself. There's an acronym called MEDS. And if you don't remember anything from this video, just remember MEDS. They stand for the 4 pillars of lifestyle medicine. And they are very simple and something that you can remember that will help you prevent burnout. So M stands for mindful activities. Engage in some mindful activities every single day. The E stands for exercise or movement. And you might not have time to go to the gym, but you can take your steps. You can have some movement. And all of that will help you release the stuck energy When you release the stuck stress and stuck energy, guess what? Again, you feel more lighthearted, and it helps with your well-being. The D in the meds stands for diet. Make sure you're eating healthy, unprocessed diet. That will really help you. I'm not asking you to follow a fad diet. I'm asking you to just have a very simple, clean diet with less snacking, less of the highly processed food, and more greens and vegetables. And finally, this is the most important of the meds, which is sleep. Most of us need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And I know that when we have a lot of things to do, we try to compromise sleep. But I tell you, as a psychiatrist, what I've seen is when people have a breakdown, one of the early warning signs is that they are struggling with the sleep or they are compromising with sleep. Remember, this needs to be your priority. The third way to prevent burnout is to take regular breaks. You need to give yourself permission to take regular breaks. Why is it important? You need to rest and recharge. When you give yourself permission to just slow down and also take some well-deserved rest, it's going to recharge your batteries. When you rest and do something different or just rest completely and you come back, you have fresh ideas. You can problem solve better just because you have allowed yourself to take regular breaks. And the fourth one, this is a very important one. And if you nail it, you will know that your life is going to change forever. 4 words. Are you ready for this? Stop believing your thinking. Now here's the thing. Thoughts seem like the truth. They come dressed like the truth. We experience thoughts as truth. And I'm talking about both conscious and unconscious thought. But when we stop believing our thinking, we are free. And I'm talking about stop believing our negative thinking, the stressful thinking. Even if a thought comes to you and you tell yourself, I don't want to believe you, I'm not going to believe you because it's not true. If you just tell yourself that, you are much ahead than other people who have no clue about this, and the moment a thought lands in their consciousness, they really think this is true. Feelings are not telling you about the boss or what's happening out there, external circumstances. They're telling you of the quality of thinking going on for you in that very moment. So when you know that you're feeling a bit stressed, this is not the time to believe your thinking. When you're feeling a bit relaxed and a new idea comes to you, a new thought comes to you, by all means take that. Because like I said, the feelings are telling you about the quality of your thoughts in the moment. The final way to avoid burnout and reach your higher self is to ask yourself, what am I? Not who am I, what am I? Initially, our brain will think,
hang on a minute, what do you mean, what am I? I'm a who.
So the who is in the world of form, and what takes you away from the world of form to consider, if I'm not a who, but a what does it mean? I'm talking about the essence of who we truly are. We call ourselves human beings, right? And we focus a lot on being human. What's the being aspect? I'm pointing to the core of who we truly are. That might not be visible, and that's actually not visible, and yet we have a sense of it. That what we see, this form, is not truly us. There's something beyond this. So when we ask ourselves those kind of questions, what am I beyond this body? What am I beyond the mind, this personal mind? What that allows us is to tap into our infinite potential, to tap into a deeper version of us that we hadn't even considered, but it was there all along. If you like this video, you love this conversation I had with my fellow coach and dear friend, and she talked about this distinction between who am I versus what am I. Thank you for watching.